So I guess you guys are just looking for a place to board.
Yes, maybe some training down the
Yeah,
line.
training down the line too, but
Okay.
yeah.
So we'll go over that stuff.
Sit, buddy.
Is there anything training-wise that you're trying to address?
On leash reactivity for him.
Okay.
He's pretty good.
Okay.
Sometimes he sets him off though. When
He
we're
sets him off?
Jake sets Logan off.
Okay.
Yeah.
When we're like walking, they'll see a dog and then he'll bark first, and then like he's slowly getting better at like sharing the sidewalk with dogs.
Like this right now
But-
was improvement. He would be usually going nuts at all the dogs.
Oh yeah, I
around.
didn't realize so many dogs
Yeah.
were so close.
Oh yeah.
He's
By
doing
the
a great
way,
job.
just as a forewarning, off-leash dogs will come through.
Okay.
I'm pretty good about keeping aware of everything and keeping them at bay, but just heads up. You would think, you know, especially because we got 6 corners right here, you'd want to stay away from that.
Yeah.
But I just had a guy right now who was chasing his dog like 5 minutes ago because it wouldn't recall because it was chasing the squirrels.
Oh.
Oh,
So-
gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It happens.
And it's gotten worse this year.
Really?
Wow.
Typically, people, you see that little field right there?
Yeah.
With the 2 baseball fields?
Yeah.
So typically people would walk there and then let their dogs play off leash there. But as of this year, I've been seeing them like come through here, come through this field. Because I typically train where those 2 benches are.
Yeah.
Kind of right there. Because it was a nice little spot. We had some shade, but like everybody's been like off leash with their dogs over here and they just like come running over.
Yeah.
So
That's
Yeah.
that's
people,
tough.
you know,
Yeah.
so what can you do?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a different dog, though. So we got some leash reactivity here. Sometimes
Very-
Jake sets off Logan.
Correct.
And now, is it like Jake and Logan, Paul? Or is it
That
just coincidence?
it was literally
Coincidence.
coincidence,
Yeah,
but like
yeah.
it's so funny.
I know, I
And
saw
we never
it.
changed and we never
Yeah.
changed them. So
Or the
Yeah,
names
yeah,
at
that was
the,
funny.
at
Yeah.
the
I,
show
was like, I
too.
highly doubt it.
Yeah.
But hey, you never know. They could be like big fans or something. Okay. So you've done remote collar. You've done
Yeah.
prong collar. I see here too.
Yeah.
Okay.
He used to do prong collar, but then our trainers back in Philly, we just moved here. She found that he did a little bit better with the, I forget what you call this
Gentle
one.
lead.
Gentle lead,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. Did they show you how to
Sit.
address his reactivity?
I
Yes
want to
and
say
no.
yes. Yeah, we've been working on it.
Yeah.
How long have you been working on it for?
Well,
When did we do that?
kind of since we've been back out, say we've been more consistent because we've been taking them on walks
Say the
more.
more. I say the past like
3
3-ish.
weeks.
Yeah.
3 years?
Like the past
Weeks.
3 weeks, we've
3
been
weeks.
consistent with
Okay.
getting them out on walks and exposing them to dogs. 'Cause we had a pretty nice yard where we were in Philly, so they weren't going on as many longer walks or places where we encounter a lot of dogs. But
Yeah.
now where we are, we encounter lots of dogs on
Right,
our
yeah.
walk, so it's been
It's always
fun.
been different.
Yeah,
Regularly, yeah.
Yeah, you
Sit,
can't
Jake.
avoid it.
Out. Eyes, good.
Okay. So like right here, what you just did, is that what your previous trainer taught you?
I want to say, to an extent, yeah, getting his eyes on me and out of like being fixated on other dogs.
For sure. Did they show you how to use like your e-collar and stuff to address the behavior?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you alternate between the approaches, or what's the theory?
I try to, I guess I want to say there's a bit of alternating. Sometimes I'll use like a treat / like vocal commands. And then sometimes if he's like super anxious, then I might rely on the collar a little bit more.
Okay. And at his worst, what does the reactivity look like?
At his worst,
Jumping, yelling, like barking, and just like trying to get to the dog to
Okay.
say
Yeah.
hi.
at
That's
his
when you
worst,
kick
he
him
doesn't
with the
feel
collar.
100
Yeah.
on the collar.
Yeah, yeah.
At his
He'll
worst, but we
blow
haven't
through
been
it.
there in a while.
Yeah.
Sure.
In the beginning, it was like he would blow through it when he got excited.
For sure. I'll cover that too.
Okay. So he's the opposite.
How long has he been reactive for?
His whole life.
And how long have you had him for?
6 years.
Yeah,
Yeah, we got him as a
since
puppy.
he was 3 months. Yeah.
And we got him
Just 3
during the
months.
pandemic.
Yeah. We got him at 3 months.
Okay, so even at 3 months, you saw like leash reactivity, or it occurred later on.
Like around like a year-ish, I'd
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
When he
Makes
was,
sense.
yeah.
So typically, so when you get puppies, they have like 3 pivotal life stages: 6 months, a year, and 2 years.
Okay.
So that's when we expect to see behavioral changes.
Okay, yeah.
So
That sounds
with
right.
pitties, or like this to me is like a pit mix. This is probably the lab mix.
Yeah,
Or is this
boxer.
the
Yeah,
mix?
he's-
the boxer mix.
He's a boxer pit mix.
Yeah,
and then-
This is the lab
He has
mix.
some
Yeah.
lab too,
He
yeah.
That's
does it.
funny.
They
'cause I'm
both-
like, looks like a pit. This looks like a collie terrier to me.
He
Yeah.
does.
Yeah. Did you do the DNA testing and everything like that?
We did.
Yeah.
Okay. So his primary is
He's like
boxer.
Yeah.
staffy boxer.
Yeah. And then like a little lab.
Yeah, and a little
then
lab.
His is
Like staffy.
Staffy, Dalmatian,
chow. Like it's just a bunch
Chow,
of
chow.
ambiguous
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Fun stuff.
He's like a little bit.
Right.
He's all over the place.
Sure. My wife
Oh
did,
my God,
what
Lou.
was it called, like Embark or something like that,
Mhm.
right? And
Oh,
then
yeah.
I guess that one, it creates a database, and then she has like a relative dog. I think it was a brother, like in Tallahassee or something.
Oh,
like
really?
That. Yeah.
Oh,
Because it
wow.
pings.
Oh, wow.
Because of DNA,
Oh, wow,
if
yeah.
there's X percentage of similarity, they consider them to be siblings. And then she looked
Yeah.
at the dog, and they look like very much alike.
Yeah.
And from her background, because she was picked up in another, I think it was around the Tallahassee area, but then
Okay.
brought to Chicago. So like all of that kind of adds up to most likely their relatives.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. No,
yeah.
that makes a lot of sense.
That does. That's so cool.
So at about a year, you start to become reactive, and is that when you did your training? Is that when like the journey started?
We did a board and train.
Okay.
Yeah.
At the end of like the latter half of 2020. So
Is that
like
when it
it was
was?
like a year, 18 months.
Yeah, that
Okay.
makes sense.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And that's when he went and see, because at first we thought he was aggressive, and then he was fine with all the dogs that he was doing training with. It was just when he was on the leash that he would get.
Was
So-
he off leash social there too? Is he
Yeah.
off leash social with you as well, or no?
Not usually. I want to get him to the point where we're comfortable going to a dog park, but usually, like I know he's fine around dogs, like off leash, but like I don't want to reward him for when we get there and then he's like going nuts on the way in. So
Sure.
we're trying to get him
Yeah.
to be able to, I guess, be calmer on his approach,
Yeah.
especially when we're on that leash.
Does he have, or has he had any dog friends like with you guys outside
Oh,
of the daycare or boarding place?
Theo.
Oh yeah, Theo,
yeah,
our
so-
friend's dog. He's hangs
Yeah,
out
they
with.
come stay at our house and they're fine.
When did
Um,
he meet Theo? How old was he?
How does Theo now? Theo's
How
probably
old
like a
was
year old
Logan?
now.
Was I mean this at Super Bowl, he was with him, but he's seen him like 3 or 4 times like over the past 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a more recent friend.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. And then how did that first introduction go?
Fine.
Fine, yeah.
Ran,
They
sniff,
just ran out
played,
into the yard.
Okay.
pee.
So this was like off leash in the yard setting. So okay.
And then at our trainer, she frequently boards lots of different dogs. And
Yeah, like
so,
up to 13.
yeah, when he's over there, he's fine, no issues. Like sometimes he likes his personal space, and so he'll do like a low growl here and there, but like no issues with real aggression or anything.
Okay. And then she never
Doesn't
had any
bite.
issues with him at all.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No.
And then what about Jake here?
Jake is he's not as reactive. I could get his attention without the e-collar. I can just say
Yeah.
no and he's fine. If anything, I'll beep him.
Okay.
Or
tone.
tone, yeah.
Uh,
He's pretty good and he's great with dogs, great
Okay.
with. He does get also a little excited going into the dog park, but when he's not as reactive, you can get him to calm down and then he can go in and play and be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
He also has had a lot of dog friends. He's had more because we got him first, so he's had a bunch of dog friends
Okay.
from back in Philly too.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Will you ever be going back to Philly, or are you pretty much here?
We're here now.
No, we're here.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
brought you here?
Work.
Work.
What do you do?
Investment banking.
Oh, okay.
I just finished school
Oh, nice.
in May, and so now we've relocated
Yeah.
back to the Midwest for
Yeah.
Devin's sake.
I'm from Michigan. So,
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
so you're kind of
I'm
familiar.
closer. Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty busy here in Chicago with dogs and
Yeah.
people, as you can see.
Yeah.
I have a client that moved up from Texas. She's only been here 7 weeks.
Oh wow.
And then she moved into a very congested part of Chicago. She's just here in the Old Town area.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I had an in-home visit with her because she did a 2-week boarding and train with me. So she had moved in. She'd only been here, moved to Chicago. She'd only been here for like 4 days, and then like had to go to a wedding and had to board a dog. So she ended up doing a boarding train with us.
Yeah.
But because the dog's dog reactive and territorial.
Mm-hmm.
So I was
Okay.
like, man, you moved into the wrong
Yeah.
neighborhood
Yeah.
with a dog like that. But he did completely fine. He was great.
Yeah.
It's just getting the owner up to snuff on everything.
Yeah.
Right.
The way I approach training is a lot different than most trainers do, and I'll explain everything and the theory why and all that stuff. There's things that I don't do that I just ignore now because, in my opinion, it doesn't really address the problem, right? So like it kind of feels like you're in a management stage. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah.
you have to do stuff either proactively, and if he were to get really bad, then you actually have to use your collar and all that stuff. But it seems like it's been it's management. Like it's not okay. I can just
Right.
trust my dog's not going to be reactive.
Right.
And that's always my end goal for my clients. Okay.
Okay.
Part of it is you're using 2 approaches. right? You're using a distraction approach, and then you're also using a correction approach, but only like if he's at his worst. Okay. Whereas I use purely correction approach. Okay. Distraction approach. The issue with it is, let's say there's a dog behind you, and you don't see it.
Yeah, you
but he
can't
sees
distract.
it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's
And
nothing
then
you
you're
can do.
distracted by a conversation,
Right.
And then he's sitting there loading, and then he
Exactly.
blows up.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
this person doesn't know, like I would tell you, like, hey, your dog's loading, right?
Yeah.
But if it's just a person you have a conversation with, he's gonna blow up, and now it's like, uh-oh, now I'm on
Right.
plan B.
Exactly.
Right? So
Yeah.
dogs are physical creatures. They nip and bite each other as a primary form of communication. Okay. So this here, for example, is a dog bite. This is 10 stitches. This is from
Oh
a
my
Great
God.
Dane. Okay. Which usually the people like Great Dane because they're known as the gentle giants. Any dog with teeth can bite.
Can bite.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
What happened was, this was back in September of 2019, when I first got my brick and mortar facility. He had destroyed the owner's house.
Oh,
Chewed up the
wow.
drywall, chewed up their wooden bar, chewed up their couch. I walked in, it was just springs.
Oh,
Chewed up their
no.
doorknob, right? Like, destroyed everything. He was a year old, unneutered, never trained, all
Okay.
that stuff, right? Completely friendly though.
Yeah.
I pick him up, I bring him to my facility. We did our training real quick because it starts immediately. He did great. And he was the biggest dog I had at that point because we had only been open for a month as a
Wow.
brick and mortar. I've been around in Chicago for 13 years. I trained dogs for 15 years, right? But I was always home to home. So,
Yeah.
been a month. I was like, all right, I don't have a kennel. I don't know if that's big enough for you.
Yeah.
So I went to go see if he would fit because it was a standard wire crate kennel,
Yeah.
right? And he panicked, and I was trying to load him in, and then he looked up and he just bit me, okay?
Yeah.
As a means of telling me, like, I'm not going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he didn't go in the kennel. They had to come pick him up because I had to go get stitches and everything like that.
Yeah.
He came back. I trained him. There was no issue.
Yeah.
Because the owners were concerned. They're like, oh, he's never been aggressive before. Is this a problem? I said, no.
Yeah.
He just panicked because
Yeah.
he wasn't created at home, clearly, because he
Yeah.
destroyed everything.
Yeah.
Right.
And I told him, like, everything was great up until I tried to do that. He panicked. He bit me. Let me heal up. I'll train him.
Yeah.
Later. And then we've had him since as a daycare boarder and all that stuff.
Oh.
Never an issue.
Yeah.
Okay, it was just that one time.
Yeah.
But dogs are physical creatures, is what I always try to remind people.
Right.
Even when class, like, oh, I've never ever seen my dog show teeth or ever try to bite or anything like that. I go, right, but doesn't mean it can't happen.
Right.
Right.
It just means that you haven't done anything yet that has put a dog in a position to think maybe I should use my teeth to get you to back off, right? So you can think of your e-collars as a bite on the button. Okay? So it's a muscle contraction, but when conditioned correctly or in a way that the dogs understand it or interpret it, similar to a dog bite. Okay? So then if the dog is doing something that I disagree with, right? Like another dog, I would want to bite them, right? When we use distraction approach, either, again, we don't always have attention of what's going on,
Yeah.
or two, let's say that dog does something as you're distracting, right?
Right.
Maybe that dog becomes reactive. So then he's like, well, forget about the
Yeah,
distraction.
yeah.
Now I'm going to become reactive too.
Exactly.
You see that? Now the intensity overrides what you're trying to do. But then also, it's just that, it's a distraction. It's not allowing Logan to go, I'm going to become reactive. Oh, there was a consequence.
Right.
I don't like the consequence. So what do I got to do so that doesn't happen again? And that's when the dogs start to second guess their behaviors.
Yeah.
And they start to realize, like, okay, if I become reactive, there's consequence. But if I'm not reactive, there is no consequence, but then also nothing happens with that dog. Right? And they start to realize, oh, reactivity isn't necessary.
Yeah.
Okay? So I've never used a distractor. Well, I shouldn't say never. I did it way, way back 15 years ago because I was purely positive when I first started. Now I do everything. I do use food and stuff, like for my boarding trains and everything, or if I'm doing working with a puppy.
Yeah.
I got a puppy coming for a 4-week boarding train in a couple of weeks. The first week is food and prong collar to introduce and balance pressure because it's a puppy.
Yeah.
And then, but after that, I start to wean it away, and it just becomes purely, big boy, big girl training
Yeah.
with the remote collar.
Yeah.
Whereas with our adult dogs, if I get a 1-year-old dog or a 2-year-old dog coming for a boarding train, I skip the food because they're old enough to understand stress and be able to work through stress.
Yeah.
Whereas puppies haven't been here that long, they
got
typically
you.
don't have a lot of
Right.
exposure to it.
Right.
Which is why we want to balance it out.
Yeah.
That's it.
So
That's it.
when we go purely to consequence, the dog starts to realize, like, oh, like, you're super strict. So I was raised old school.
Same.
Yes.
If my mom said don't do that, it was like, I'm going to tell you once, I'm not
Exactly.
going to tell you again.
Exactly.
And in the beginning, don't do that was just don't do that.
Right.
And then I got spanked for the first time.
Yeah.
And now don't do that has a completely different connotation, right? And my mom, because I'm the firstborn, I see.
Okay.
Out.
Out.
Pull straight up on your leash, shorten it a little bit. About right there, perfect.
You don't even know
Good.
what's barking at.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what you can do is, our instinct typically when a dog becomes reactive is to pull back. Instead, you actually just pull straight up.
Okay.
Okay, and you can do what you would normally do, but straight up is the best approach, especially because you have the gentle leader. I'm not a fan of the gentle leader, but it does give you immediate control over the face.
Yeah.
So if you control the head, you control the body essentially. And up is a very unnatural motion for dogs because they don't fly, right? They go forward, back, left, right, and vertical, but they don't go up. So when you go up, it's very unnatural for them, and depending on how bad the reactivity is, sometimes we'll have to pull up where the front legs come off, because then they have nothing to get traction on the ground.
Yeah.
His center of gravity is lower than yours. Do you know where your center of gravity is?
No, not by definition.
Your hips.
Okay.
Okay, so that's why if you're on a boat, you want to keep your hips on the inside of the rail. As soon as those hips go over the rail, you're flipping.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
that's,
it makes sense.
So here with the dog, obviously he's lower than your hips, right? Yeah, that's why we have this when they really pull, you know, because his center of gravity is lower than yours. And I've had people been pulled down. I had it was a console a couple of years ago. I was walking up and I just see her right here picking herself off the ground because the dog had become reactive as I was approaching. And it brought her down.
Oh,
She
man.
wasn't prepared for it, and she had this big old
Oh.
knot
no.
in her eye. Yeah, and I was like, I'm really sorry that happened.
Out.
Where are you going?
Because I was training over there,
Yeah.
and then I walked over here because it's where I typically do consults
Jake,
because it's
sit.
away from most of the traffic there. And then in that time, you know, the dog passes, she became reactive and she was picking herself up.
Oh
So,
my gosh. That's
question on any of that stuff so far?
No, I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Now,
Glad I got my technique
Doing a
down.
good job.
Yeah,
now,
our old trainer went with the gentle leader. Exactly what you were saying, like you can control the face a bit more. So when he would get fixated, she could like pull him out of it or get him to redirect his attention away from dogs.
So that's why we don't even allow the fixation. Because fixation, like if you think of reactivity as a scale, 1 to 10, right? As soon as you start to see 2 to 3, we're already correcting. The moment he gets to 5, 6, that's when you're seeing reactivity stuff.
Yeah.
So if again, there's nothing that's telling him consistently you don't want to do that. Okay, once that starts happening consistently, then he's like, okay, now do I want to do this or not? You know? So jumping back to, you see something, maybe a squirrel. Earlier, where you said in the beginning you were at 100 and he was just kind of pushing through it.
Yeah, that was probably.
That was
He
when-
hasn't been there in so long,
He
which
hasn't
is
been there in a
nice.
very long time. Yeah, it was probably like we started doing after the boarding train. We started doing regular sessions over with the trainer. And she lives near a park like this, and so he got a lot better just after like 3 or 4 sessions
Good, good.
of walking around and seeing
Out.
dogs. Yeah,
Good.
So part of that
that was
is
probably 3 years ago.
he's a 45 to 50 pound dog.
He's like
50, yeah,
50 to
55,
60.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So the mini educator is meant for a 35 pound dog and under.
Oh.
Okay. Hence the word mini.
Yeah.
So there's educator, there's mini educator, and then what's known as the boss. And the boss is meant for like the 70 pound and over dog.
Okay.
Educator is 70 pound and under. Mini educator is 35 and under. And then
Okay.
I think there's a model like the micro or something like that educator, and that's meant for like a 15 pound dog and under. So the difference with all this is the output.
Right.
Yeah.
So obviously a bigger dog
Out.
might need more output because they're larger.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, that you'd want to have like the boss on that particular dog.
Yeah.
So like I had a client, he had a 90 pound pit bull who was leash reactive, and you know I'm doing the consult. And this is back when I would go home to home. So I walk into his home and his pit greets me with the mini educator, and I'm like, well, there's your problem.
Yeah.
He is like, what? I'm like, well, your e-collar is meant for a 35 pound dog, and you have a 90 pound dog. So it's like
Yeah.
a featherweight to a heavyweight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
So then we put him on the appropriate collar, and then we fix the reactivity real
Yeah.
quick. Okay. So I'm glad you still made progress, but that's why in the beginning,
Yeah, it
the
was
dog
harder.
It was
pushing
rough,
through it.
yeah.
Yes. Or what ends up happening is you find your numbers higher than normal.
Right.
Right.
So like, let's say you're on a mini educator, you're at an 80, but on a higher powered collar, you'd be like at a 30,
Yeah.
40, because it's just more from less.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's why if the dog, like I had this morning, I worked with St. Bernard. It's a 4-week boarding train that
Yeah.
attacks the boyfriend's dog. So he's a 130, 150 pound dog.
Yeah.
So he's on the appropriate collar. But one thing I told her was, I said, I've had it in the past where these really large breed dogs become so aggressive where they need 2 collars. Because you have adrenaline, you have the size of the dog. In this case, with the St. Bernard, we also have the density of the coat, right? All that stuff.
Oh,
goes
yeah.
in.
Yeah.
So this morning, I'm working with him. This is the second day. He doesn't like the training because it's discipline.
Yeah.
So he did what we call shutdown. He laid down. And he's like, I'm not going to do this. Okay. So I was at 35 because I was trying to get him to sit up. And I go from 35 to 40 to 45 to 50 to 55 to 60. I'm just going up gradually. And not until I hit 127 did he finally go, okay, I'll do it. So then I pointed out, because I record the session to send to the owner for them to watch.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is exactly what I was talking about during the consultation, is now I'm already raising a flag going, well, if it took me 125 just to get this dog to snap out of the abstinence and sit, I go, when we hit the aggression social exercises, that's where I might need that second collar, right?
Yeah.
Because I already know this because I've been training dogs for so long, and I've had these crazy scenarios. But as the dog owner, you know, it looks crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, because like, wow, is this normal? Like, it's not normal, right? Most dogs are not this.
Yeah.
Your dog is just that rare 0.01% that might need that, you know?
Yeah.
So I flag it. Because then if I end up at that point, well, she's like, well, Jesse called this out all the way into consultation.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it just kind of lets people know, like, I know what I'm talking about because I can predict what might happen.
Right.
You know, and then if we end up there, they're like, okay, well, Jesse said this might happen, so I'm going to trust that he knows what he's doing. You know?
Okay.
So every dog is different, but that's why having the appropriate collar is important. The reason why this is such a common system is that their wholesale cost is pretty good.
Okay.
Like if I were to sell this as a trainer, what I pay for it, like I make a bigger markup. Plus, I'm not sure if they still do it before, because I used to use this brand 13 years ago. Is I could call them up and order one collar from them, one system, and they would overnight ship it directly to my client.
Oh,
So they
wow.
would drop ship. Yes. So I was like, oh, cool. I don't have to have inventory.
Jake, sit, please.
I can just call them up and they'll ship you the collar immediately.
Yeah.
Whereas with the brand that I use, Doctra, they changed it, but at the time you had to commit to a $10,000 inventory investment. But I was just starting out.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah,
oh,
that's
$10
a
grand.
that's,
Yeah.
So I did this, and then I had 3 cases in the beginning. They were all aggression pit bull cases, and they were all getting worse.
Okay.
And I had them on the appropriate collar. They were all on the buses. And then I'm like, okay, something's off here. So then I ended up out of pocket buying the Doctor collars that were appropriate to them. I took the original collar and I gave them the Doctor collars, and all of a sudden they all started making progress. So that's why I stopped using the Educator brand.
Yeah.
Was because of having those issues.
Out. Sit.
Out.
Thank you, Jake.
Sit, Logan. There you go. Come here. Sit.
Good.
What is it, a squirrel?
No, it's a dog. He's
yeah.
chasing an off-leash, so he doesn't like the energy. That's why he became reactive. Because he's seen other dogs and like not really cared about it. Like the Reactive's 2 right now.
Yeah.
Right? So he turns around, but you see how he looked away?
Yeah.
He's not even hyper-focusing on them because their energy is more passive.
Yeah, when he sees a dog that like either shows some interest in him or some excitement, then he feeds off of it.
Yeah, that's exactly.
And then we have a reactive episode.
Sure. On a scale of 1 to 10, like what would you rate that? Reactive?
What he just did, that's pretty easy. That's probably like 3.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I
like-
would give it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Good. Because
He
sometimes
responded to you.
Yeah.
I get clients that they see that and like, oh, it's a 10.
Oh my god.
Like, no.
Because they don't know.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
They
because
don't
it's
know.
like, oh, this other dog
Yeah,
is
because
just
it's,
chilling.
there's just a problem that they have. They don't know how to
Yeah.
deal with it.
They get
They're trying to deal
overwhelmed.
with it. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, no, it's actually like a 3. And they're like, really? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, oh,
Probably
they're like, well, that
like,
makes me feel
oh,
better.
yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
Makes them feel better. So like the lady I saw yesterday, that in-home, you know, I told her, because when she picked him up, I said, in my opinion, you got a good dog. You just need to know how to handle him, use your tools and stuff like that. And then yesterday when we were walking around, I told her on a scale of 1 to 10, like when he's at his worst, to me he's like a 3, maybe a 4. And she's like, really? I'm like, yeah. She's like, I always thought he was like an 8 or a 9. I'm like, no. She's like, trainers have told me
Probably
he's that.
relief.
I'm like, well, they don't know what they're talking
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
then, because I'm telling you, he's such an easy dog.
Yeah.
It's just you have to know how to work
Right.
with them in a way that he understands. or
Yeah.
whatever. So,
Right.
Okay. So here you see how he kind of relaxed right when you looked. He had his mouth closed. Now he let it go, but he was locked onto something. Maybe these dogs passing here. You know. So one thing is you see how his mouth is open. That's relaxed state. So if you were to see a dog, you would most likely see that mouth closed, and that tells you there's loading tension.
Okay.
Okay. So that it's not good or bad. It just tells you he's
It's
stressing
a
out.
sick, yeah. Like I usually look for the wrinkles up top.
His ears, yeah.
So yeah, it's been, I think the last 3 weeks us being around more dogs throughout the day has helped a lot because I've seen a lot less wrinkles. Like I have been
Sharing
using distraction, but the fact that even when I have a treat, he's like looking at me or the treat and not worrying about the dog. And then when we get past the dog, he's not even like trying to get back to it. Like, oh, I got the treat, let me get back to it. So he's been,
sharing
he's
the
been a lot
sidewalk
easier.
has been a big thing
Yeah.
that he's
And then-
now like being able to do more often.
And I think the other
Yeah.
part of our journey was kind of like me learning how to work with him and me being relaxed and like being in control
No, you're doing
versus
pretty good.
being so responsive. It's taking time. I had to get a lot of feedback, I think, because Devin
like, you're
is,
okay. It's just
You must know
Devin's-
what you're doing then.
yeah, Devin's a lot more comfortable in a lot of different
yeah, I
situations than
just-
I am,
Yeah.
and so I had to like just put myself
dogs.
in positions
Yeah.
where it's like, okay, we're training together. Like I'm not just training him. We're
Yeah.
also like I'm
We're
also
doing
in a
it
learning
together.
phase.
Yeah.
For sure, yeah. A lot of, I know that like if you'll see like, oh, it's not it's training the human, like that's 100% true. Like,
Yeah, I think so.
Like
I
yes,
agree.
like I said, the dog yesterday, Kodiak, like super easy to work with, but the owner is a nervous, jumpy person, and then because of her experiences with the dog, it's made her jumpier.
Yeah.
So now it's like undoing a lot of that developed habits. And then she had a lot of bad habits that she was doing just on her own. Like whenever she'd open a threshold, she would completely drop the leash. And I told her, when you do that, if there's a dog there, your dog now has all that slack, right? I was like, so you have to. So then she started undoing that habit, and she would still do it, but I would see her catch herself and then do the new habit. You know?
Yeah.
But I was telling her, I was like, it's funny because you're worried about this thing happening, but you're also setting yourself up for that thing to happen.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
once she realized it, she's like, oh, okay, wow, like this makes me feel so much better. Like good.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, a lot of it's training the person, building the confidence up, especially if they've
That's
had
what
like
it
a
is,
dog bite or
confidence.
attack happen, all that stuff. And a lot of that comes through trial and error.
Okay.
Failure is part of the process,
Yeah.
right? But once you find the answer and you go, oh, now stopping his reactivity is like that, but then also, oh, we just saw 3 dogs after I corrected him that last time that he would normally trigger at and he didn't trigger. And then you go, oh, wow, it must be really working. So that's why I said you're stuck in management mode.
Yeah.
Right? The goal of corrections is to stop and deter, not just stop. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So if you can stop them every time, that's great. But then you have to stop them every time. And what I want is I stopped him and then he saw 10 other dogs and I didn't have to do a thing. And then the 11th dog he triggered and I stopped him. But then he saw 20 dogs and I didn't have to do a thing. Is what you start to see is bigger and bigger gaps in the infractions because the consequence is important enough to him where he's like, I'm gonna choose not to and see what happens, right? But because he's learning and he has to learn by trial and error, we can't explain to him, hey bud,
Right.
I'm gonna get you at a 90 right now if you act up, right? You can tell it to him. He ain't gonna
He's not
listen.
gonna know.
No, he's not gonna understand, right? So as you go there and you find it's literally night and day. Once you find what he needs, you're gonna be like, oh wow, ever since I hit this number, I corrected him, he stopped like that, right? But then also we saw a bunch of other dogs that would typically trigger
Afterwards.
him and nothing happened.
Yeah.
You see that? And then you go, oh, it's been 3 days since he's been reactive. Oh, it's been a week since he's been reactive. Oh, it's been a month. You start to see more gaps in the reactivity. And then one day it's a year, right? And then after a year, you're like, wow, my dog's so great. And then he becomes reactive. It's okay. You just correct them and life goes on. And then you go another year.
Right.
There's no such thing as perfection. Because sometimes people, they think the dog is like screwed up and then once they fix them, everything should be perfect. And I go, no, life's not perfect, right? And then we also have to think, why did the dog become reactive? Did you just turn the corner and then you get surprised?
Yeah.
Right.
Like those things do happen. And you can fix that. Like that can be addressed. But
Yeah.
it makes sense that, oh, I got caught off guard and my dog became reactive. Just like with humans, if you get caught off guard, you get startled, right?
Right.
Except we don't, react towards the person, you just get startled.
Right.
So, for me, I have a pit. I've had her since she was 3 months. From 2 months of 2 months she left the breeder. In the month that she left the breeder, she went to 3 other homes.
Okay.
And then her last owner was actually a client of mine. It was a sheriff and a principal, and they were busy all the time. I have a 13-year-old daughter, and my pit has a lot of prey drive. So she would chase the daughter around, so they couldn't handle her. So they're like, we want to give this dog to a person, but this was in Texas. but dog fighting is really big down there.
Yeah.
So they're like, we want to give her somebody we trust. I was like, I'm looking for Pitt this exact coat. So they gave her to me, and I've had her ever since. She's my right-hand girl.
Aw.
15 years old, she's slowing down. But in the 15 years that I've had her, she's been reactive about a handful of times, seemingly out of nowhere, you know. Then I got caught off guard. One time I remember I was walking downtown, I saw my neighbor with his beagle, who was the oldest, chillest beagle. We're walking, and out of nowhere, my Pit became reactive. And I was caught off guard, and I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing?
Whoa.
And then she just backed up and looked at me and was like, and just continued walking, you know, and then life went on.
Right.
And then it happened like 4 other times. And then I'm a trainer. I was like, all right, I correct you. And then life goes on.
Yeah.
But I didn't get worried about it. You know, it wasn't like, oh my goodness, my dog has this behavior now.
Right.
Right? Because I already know how to address it and stuff. Plus, I'm consistent with everything else. But in 15 years, 5 moments of reactivity is a blink of an eye.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but even for me as a trainer, my dog has become reactive a handful of times. And I just address it and go on. Okay. So, but you should see considerable progress where you're like, wow, I can go on a walk and not have to worry about distracting my dog.
Right.
I can go on a walk and not have to worry about if he sees something that I don't see. That's the whole purpose of correcting the behavior. Is he's going, what happens if I decide not to become reactive? Right? Nothing. So then he starts to realize, like, oh, this thing is turning on because of me
Yeah.
and the decisions that I make.
Yeah.
Right? Like as humans, I know if I don't run a red light, I don't risk a red light ticket.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? If I don't speed, I don't get a speeding ticket. That's fairly straightforward. You know? So it's the same thing for the dog, but they have to understand, you know, what is allowed and what's not allowed. Okay? Question on any of that stuff?
No.
I don't think so.
So, for the boarding stuff, okay? So we run a structured kennel. It's either dogs attend daycare once a week. There's an eval process, and then after they complete the eval, they do 1 month of boarding at least once a week, and then we board them for the first time. Okay. So there's that process, but then also we will board dogs that we are either currently training. So for example, the Saint Bernard that I have right now, never met him before. Okay, but he's here for a 4-week boarding train, so obviously we're going to board the dog because of that. So it's either they're doing a board and train program, and or we've previously trained them. So after the dog's completed the board and train program, the owner can come back whenever she needs to then board them in the future. I have clients that come from St. Charles. I actually have a client, 2 dogs. I have 1 dog that comes from St. Charles, another dog that comes from Winnetka, which is out in the suburbs. St. Charles is like an hour, 45 minutes away. Okay?
Oh, wow. Okay.
But both those dogs can only come to me because they're both human and dog aggressive. So we're the only place that can safely handle them.
Yeah.
And we never had an issue with either of them.
Yeah.
Doug, who's one of my most severe cases of my career. In the beginning, he was a little bit of a tense guy, but now super easy, loves the staff. He doesn't like dogs, but is not a problem, which is why they come to us, because their previous boarding place had kicked them out because no one could handle them. Question on any of that stuff so far?
No. So
So for boarding, it has to be 3 times of daycare.
So
before?
boarding would be, we have an eval process.
Okay.
It's a 3-day, over the course of 3 days.
Okay.
During the daycare day, some clients think it's over like overnight. I go, no, it's just during the day. So
Okay.
they first complete the eval process. Once they've completed the eval process, then it's 1 day of boarding once a week for a month or 4 weeks, and then we board for the first time.
Okay.
That's if we've done no training, nothing with the dog.
Got
That's
it.
to ease them into the facility structure, but then also to make sure, like, okay, you're a client. You know, because a lot of people call us and they go, I want to drop my dog off for boarding tomorrow, and we go, do we know you? And they go, no. Okay, we're not taking your dog.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Or if we've previously trained the dog, and they've met a qualifying program, like a minimum, then I go, cool, yeah, bring them back, no problem. As long as their vaccinations are up to date, their fecal is clear, we're
Yeah.
good. Or it's like, okay, I'm gonna drop my dog off for a boarding train program, and then obviously would board the dogs, and the training would happen during the program. Okay. How soon are you trying to board?
the first one was
July 25th and 26th.
Okay, so 2 nights,
Yeah.
and then when's the next one?
the next one be
No,
September.
August.
What's in August?
The Chris Brown thing.
Oh, no, we'll be in Michigan though.
Yeah, I don't know if we can take them. That time.
Oh, okay, all
I
right.
don't know
I
who's
didn't
gonna
know
be
that.
home.
So yeah, like August 7th, 8th,
Yeah,
somewhere around there.
something like that.
Okay. So the way that we like to work around with that would be we could do a board and train during those dates.
Okay.
And so our minimum requirements would be at least, I think it's a 6-week in person for if we're doing one-on-ones and or a 2-week board and train minimum.
Okay.
Right? So what you could do is you do a 2-week board and train, but you split 1 week during the July dates, the second week during the August dates.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I don't have a problem. It just has to be done in a week.
Right.
Right, because I'm starting the training, and it takes at least a week to make sure the dog gets everything down. And then if the client takes the dogs and then comes back later, completely fine. We had a client that did a 4-week board and train, and they did the first 2 weeks, and then they're going to do the second 2 weeks at the end of this year because they only travel during Christmas, but they travel for a couple of weeks at a time. So I was like, yeah, I don't got a problem with that. But they paid for the 4-week up front, telling us like I'm committed to the 4-week, so I'm gonna do 2 here, and then I'll do the other 2. This year in the Christmas time.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So that's the way to do that. And then once they've completed
Jake, sit.
the programs, you're good to go.
Okay.
Okay.
Sit, Jake.
And then so the only thing would be with fecals.
Sit.
Welcome to Chicago.
Where are you going?
Giardia's pretty common. Okay. Is if we don't see a dog for more than 3 months, we'll ask for a fresh fecal.
Jake,
Okay.
sit.
Because we've caught a lot of cases of Giardia and parasites because of that. Okay.
Okay.
But like, let's say, so we do July, we do August, and let's say 2 months later, you have to board again. It's no problem. It's in 3 months, right? Within the 3 months. But then you get 3 months from that date.
Got
Okay.
it.
Because what happens is we see the dog, we check the poops. If something looks suspicious, we'll email you and say, hey, something doesn't look right.
Okay.
After a year, fecals actually expire. Because a lot of clients go, oh, but I got my fecal, 4 months ago. It's good for a year. I'm like, it's good until your dog eats something on the ground and then has Giardia.
Yeah.
Which is why
Jake,
we've
sit.
learned to just have people give us fresh fecals. And we've caught so many cases of Giardia. The dog that I was talking about, the Kodiak, the German Shepherd, that I saw yesterday with the lady,
Yeah.
had Giardia.
Oh.
Yes.
So that's just bringing in a like poop sample.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. You just take that to the veterinarian, drop it off. It usually takes a day or two.
Okay.
And we always say wait until a week before you're going to bring the dogs.
Okay.
Right? Because we had a client. They gave us a fresh fecal. They literally, we got the fecal on a Friday. They dropped their dog Saturday morning. Sunday morning, their poop was infested with worms.
Oh.
Yeah. My staff just went in there and they're like, uh-oh, and sent the picture. It's literally infested with worms.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh, no.
So they were in Europe. They're in the UK.
Out.
So we just had to isolate them, and then we have an isolation upcharge because we have to disinfect all the time, and then we have to completely away from the other dogs.
Yeah.
And everything was fine. But so we do have a lot of places will just tell you take your dog, which I get, But we have 18,000 square feet of space. It's easy for us to go, okay, you guys are just isolated. They just don't get to do group or anything like that. And then we just have to constantly disinfect just to make sure. Okay? As long as everything's clear, we're good to go. Okay?
Cool.
But that would be a way that you could get the training in, also have both those travel dates covered. And then after that, you're good to go. And you're able to board with us whenever you need to in the future, pending everything is up to date. Okay? Questions on any of that stuff?
No, I think we're good.
No, I think we'll just figure out the dates
Okay.
for those two. And
Yeah.
I'll confirm about that, because then if not, then we would do.
This is
Oh,
the
thanks.
ladybug.
Yeah, ladybug.
Oh.
This is my partner.
Yeah.
Because then if not, then we'll do that. Then we'll be fine for the wedding in September. So that'll work. So we'll plan out the poop samples and stuff.
Yeah. And then again, that's like a week before, because it gives time just in case for something to pop up.
Yeah. Okay.
The next thing would be for your systems. Are these 1-dog systems or these 2-dog systems?
I think that one probably, is that Jake's original?
Yeah.
I feel like that one definitely has 2-dog capability.
Does
This
it?
one might.
I'm not sure, actually. I
Yeah,
don't
we've
know.
never programmed them for 2.
Because I know Logan's
I
has
think
died.
those are 1-dog, because I think on the 2-dog there's 2 T buttons.
Okay.
See how there's the hole there?
Yeah.
So then it'd be like a red T, which would be for the second dog.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I've not used these in a long time, but from what I remember, that's I think how the setup was. So I would suggest for this guy at least upgrading your system.
Okay.
To the appropriate output. My only concern is that now I only train with the Doctor brand. Okay.
That's fine.
I would still take these guys
Okay.
if needed. The only issue would be if you're struggling with the reactivity and stuff still, or like during the training, I doubt it's going to happen. I highly doubt it's going to happen. But if I notice any issues, the first thing I'm going to look to is the system. That's why I stopped using it so long ago. But with Doctor, I've been using it for 13 years now that I know it like the back of my hand. But also, if you decided to upgrade your system, like even for both dogs, you can set up what's called a family system. Family system is when you both have a remote that controls both dogs.
Okay.
So then you're not even having to worry about who's got the remote, right? Or like always having your one, like you can always use the other person's.
Yeah.
The remote's dead.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then if you get your systems through us, we do 10% off.
Okay.
Okay, so you get 10% off the system and everything.
Okay.
If you decide to do a family system, I have to have it set up from the distributor. So I call them up, like we send you an invoice, you pay the invoice, we present them with the invoice and say, hey, we need this system set up as a family system because it's all coded, and then they mail it to me, and then everything's ready to go with both the transmitters working to both receivers. Okay.
Got it.
Question on any of that?
No, I think I'm
No.
okay there.
Otherwise, if you decided just to upgrade his system, he would be on the Black Edition. It runs 340-ish with tax. After the discount, it drops it down to like 305-ish with
Okay.
tax. Okay. If you do a family type system, I think the last one that we did was like 700 to 800-ish.
Okay.
I think that was pre-tax. And Tina can always draft up an estimate so you can see what that looks like all in.
Okay.
What's nice about it is that how long have you had your systems for?
Since 2020, right?
Yeah. 5
They
years.
last a long time. These are, I think, half-mile range. With the upgrades, it goes up to a 1 mile range. Okay,
Oh, wow.
which you wouldn't have your dog be a mile away, but
Right.
Yeah.
that goes up. I believe these are waterproof systems, which is the same thing for ours. They're also waterproof.
Okay.
And I don't have one with me. It's not a circle remote. It's more like a remote remote. So
Okay.
people, when they switch, they like it because they feel like the circle is awkward, Whereas with the other one, it's just like kind of a cylinder type shape, and it's a lot more, what's the word? More fitting to the hand than the circle. Okay.
Gotcha.
Well, otherwise, the one I definitely recommend is that we upgrade would be this guy. All right. Other questions?
And what, in terms of like upgrading him, is it because you're worried about like the 100 not being enough? If
It's
he's in
not so much that. Well, one is I've done Doctor for so long, I know it like the back of my hand. So like, have you ever heard of Jeff Gilman?
I think so.
I haven't.
Solid Canine Training.
Yes.
Jeff and Joel.
Yes.
Okay. So he was
Watch
here not too long ago for a seminar.
Okay.
He had a seminar at my facility. Okay.
Cool.
And they had asked for a loaner collar.
Okay.
We only do Doctra. They only do
This
the
one.
system.
Okay.
So I give it to Joelle, and she looks at it. She goes, "Oh, you guys do Doctra?" I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Okay," and she took it.
Yeah.
Because you're so used to.
Right. What you've been.
Yeah. The difference also is, educators tend to be sharper. Doctra is duller. So that's my theory as why those cases that I had in the beginning weren't doing too well. It was just too, I don't say intense, but it's just something about the way that was being delivered. Because as soon as I switched, it's still e-collar,
Yeah.
right? Still high put out collars,
Yeah.
but the way the sensation is delivered made a difference in those dogs. Because even I was like doubting, like, what do I know what I'm doing here? Because they aren't making any progress.
Yeah.
But then I was like, all right, well, let me try this. And then sure enough, all of a sudden there was a big change. So that's why I just never looked back. Exactly. So it's not that they're bad systems. They are one of the best, 100% for sure. Them and Doctra. But I've just been using Doctra for so long.
Yeah.
Okay. The other thing is, when you book your programs, you do get 10% off the second dog.
Okay.
Okay, for the board and train program.
Okay.
So then you save a little bit of money there as well. And then anything you buy from us, as once you're a client, it's just 10% off. So if you need retail, if you need dog food, which everybody's got to feed their dog, right? Raw food. In some cases, we have clients who have their dogs on a special food.
Yeah.
If we can get it for them, they get 10% off of it.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, we have some clients that
Jake,
specialty order
sit.
stuff from us. And then we always just have their monthly supply or whatever, and then they'll pick it up, and then they just get 10% off permanently.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So all
Sit.
our toys, all our training stuff, everything like that is 10%. Okay? Just as FYI for you guys.
Cool.
Other questions?
I don't think I have any.
Yeah, I'm okay for now.
Yeah.
I think I just need to look over
Yeah, go like figure out
plans
the
and dates.
Yeah.
Let me think here. You do get follow-ups with the boarding trains.
Okay.
A lot of places, like it's the boarding train and you get like one follow-up. For us, you get, if the longer the boarding train, the more follow-ups you get.
Okay.
So like I had a client, he did a 5-week boarding train and all he got was a 30-minute lesson on the pickup and like that was it. He had to pay for all the other ones that he wanted. And then the dog wasn't even trained. I had to come back and retrain the dog.
Oh.
So yeah, it happens a lot. So a 2-week would get you 3 in-persons
Okay.
per program.
Okay.
So then you walk away with 6 hours of follow-up with me.
Okay.
Okay. And then you can use that to cover anything you want. So for example, again, Kodiak, he's territorial over the owner. He's leash reactive. At the facility, it covers obedience. I do cover behavior, but if I don't see the behavior, I can't demonstrate the process. He didn't really give us a lot of behavior to work with. Okay. And I said, don't worry about it. You can book a follow-up. And then the follow-up will address the behaviors that we couldn't see at the facility.
Right.
The St. Bernard that I have right now that attacks the other dog, yesterday was his first day. I walked him around, brought him up to other dogs. He was a little tense, but like did nothing. So I'm like, all right, we may not see anything here, you know, but she's gonna come once a week during the program because the dog attacks her boyfriend's dog, so that we can work on that stuff while he's actively with us. So hopefully we see something there. But that's why we have the follow-ups. So like even when we get resource guarders, we'll get a resource guarder and then we're like, we're not seeing anything.
Right.
Because it's structured. It's disciplined from the get-go. So the dog's not gonna behave the same way.
Yeah.
So then, you know, I was like, oh, what the hell, you know? And then I was like, don't worry about it. When you pick them up, you can use the follow-up. We'll cover the resource guarding in the follow-up. Or sometimes things happen that weren't a problem before.
Right.
Like new problems happen, new behaviors happen. And then I was like, oh, I got a follow-up. Can I use it? Go 100%. Even though I didn't cover it in the program, like I'll still use the follow-up to fix any behaviors that happen out of nowhere. So we don't worry about like, oh crap, I have to buy a whole new training program. I'm like, you have my time. I just come and go. Like, what do you want to fix today?
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's pretty much it. You guys, because most of the consultation is really filling in people on e-collar, because most people don't understand e-collar, right? They think it's like electrocution or whatever.
Yeah.
You guys are obviously still using your tools, so you're aware of like, okay, when I need it, I have it. A lot of people fall into like, when does a dog become a good dog? And like, I no longer have to do this stuff. And I go, that's not a thing. Application should become less, right? Using it all the time, right? That becomes less. Like I said, you should be like, it's a year. Like I can't remember the last time I used my e-collar. Like it should feel that way. If we're using it all the time, then we're stuck in management mode. Right. But if you know he's leash reactive and you're gonna be in the world with his other dogs, you go, okay, then I need my collar, right? If he's at home and he's a great dog, well then I don't need my collar.
Right.
You know, my dog's been off leash trained 13 years now. If I'm gonna be at the park with them off leash, they have their collars on.
Right.
I can't tell you the last time I had to press the button. Okay, it's been so long. But if something came up, I still have the ability to regain control.
Yeah.
Because I can't control other people's dogs. I can't control the environment, but at least I can control my own dog.
Right.
Yeah.
That's kind of how that works.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
No, I think
don't
we're
think so.
okay.
Yeah.
I just gotta figure out what we're gonna do.
Yeah. Figure out the dates and stuff.
Talk about it. But the bare minimum for us, for a program to like qualify for boarding and you can even do daycare if you need to, like the one-off, oh, I gotta drop them off for daycare or whatever, completely fine. They're welcome back at any point. You don't have to make reservations either. Like again, we have 18,000 square feet of space. Like if we needed to bring out a kennel, we have space to do so.
Yeah.
But if something happens, because clients are always like, oh, can I bring my dog in? I go, yeah, just come on in. Because they're worried about that we're not gonna have space for them or something like that.
Yeah.
As long as your dog's up to date, we're good to go. And if we train them, we're good to go. Okay.
Okay. And it's, sorry, one more time.
Yeah.
I know you said it like twice already. Eval is 3 days in the daycare.
Yes, if you're not a training client.
If you're not a training.
Yeah, you don't have to do that for the board and train.
Okay.
If we do the board and train, we could do the board and train around the dates we're gonna be gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then like in September.
Oh, so you could do.
Because we're like returning.
Okay. So sorry. So you could do the 3-day daycare eval and then do boarding, or no?
No,
Am I
it's
confused?
3-day eval and then a month of daycare.
Oh, a
once
month of
week.
daycare.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
got
then
you.
can
Once
board
a
the
week.
first time.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
So like if it was the August date, right? We
Yeah,
would
we'd
have
have
time to
time.
knock that out.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Okay,
Exactly.
I follow
That's the
you.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's a recurring daycare at least once a week to continue to do boarding.
Okay,
Okay.
recurring daycare once
Yes.
a week.
If we've not trained the dog.
Okay.
Right.
Yes.
All right,
Now-
that makes sense. I see. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. But if you're doing a board and train, you don't have to do the eval. You don't have to do the daycare. It's just we're gonna do a 2 week. We're gonna split it 1 week here. We're gonna split it 1 week here, and then once you've completed the second week, you're good to go. You can come back whenever you need to.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
And then so that's probably what
Yeah.
we'll do, and then we'll be set for.
Yeah, maybe you do
the
one
wedding.
of them when I'm at training.
I-
the
I-
lesson of
yeah,
you're
that-
already thinking about that probably.
I am.
Okay.
And then to get the 10% off the second dog, they have to be concurring dates, right?
Okay,
Oh,
So
yeah.
they're
yeah.
at the same time.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Cool. No, I
don't
think
think
that
so.
that's helpful. I
Yeah,
guess
that was helpful.
in the meantime, because I guess the earliest we would drop them off a boarding train would be
The 20.
the other
the
Nana's
25th.
birthday, like the
Yeah,
that
I gotta
area?
look at it like the Friday, so it would be like that whole first week,
Okay. All right.
and then I would just have them for like a week, and then I would do it again. The
Oh
following
yeah.
week.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
What could I do? I guess, if you don't mind sharing, to get away from the distraction approach, to get him just pure correction. When I'm like on walks and we see dogs, like what should I do? Like, should it just be a stem?
Well, you're already doing it. But
Okay.
instead of doing
Okay,
the
but-
distraction, you're just doing what you're currently
Just eliminate the distraction.
Yes.
Okay.
doing. Yes.
All right.
And
So
it's-
when we
it's
see a
so
dog,
it's consistently, because the thing is, if it's sometimes distraction and sometimes correction, the dog can become a gambler. Because it's like, which one is it going to be today?
Yeah.
Because one of them sucks and one of them doesn't suck.
Right.
You see that?
Yeah.
So that's why I go just
That's a
purely
good point.
correction.
okay. So it
Yeah.
means I might have to go back to a bigger. I call it like a bubble, like the
Yeah,
distance
more
between that
space.
dog. So
Once. So the other part of the board and train stuff is, everybody trains differently. Is I have to train them the way that they have to understand the collar the way I use the collar. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
He calls it
Oh
the
yeah,
language.
that's fine.
yeah.
Right? So the program is going to cover stuff that they already know. Right? I understand that. Just to be upfront, they're going to learn heel again, they're going to learn sit again, they're going to learn down again, they're going to learn all again. But they're learning it the way that I teach it.
Yeah.
So that when we come to address the behavior, like, it's going to stop.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, I'm telling you, it's going to stop. It's just a matter of, do they understand the collar appropriately? And also, are you applying it correctly? Okay? Not to say that you've not made progress, because clearly you've made progress, but you're still stuck.
It's slow.
And that's
yeah,
partially
it's-
why.
Yeah.
It's honestly, reactivity is like, for me, like a 2-day thing. 2 days, I'm gonna get it done. Okay.
Beautiful.
All I need to do is get the conditioning down correctly, and then
Yeah.
find what number is the number that's gonna make you go, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Okay. And with that in mind, and I don't think, again, this is gonna be the case. I can only take you as far as you're willing to go. You know, so going back to the St. Bernard, like I was at 125 this morning. Like obviously, I don't have a problem going there. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
But
Oh, yeah, no,
and I say this in the video, I was like, if you don't go there for your dog and you have to, and then you also want to stop the behavior with your dog attacking your boyfriend's dog, like that's not going to happen.
You're right.
Exactly.
If you can't make your dog sit, you're not going to get your dog to stop.
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
very far apart, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I go, we use these little mundane, I was like, I honestly don't really care about sit. But because I know this dog attacks your boyfriend's dog, I'm going
Right.
to care about sit a
Yeah,
lot.
you gotta
Right.
know that one.
And the dog's going to be like, you know what, if you go to 125 just to make me sit,
Yeah.
what's it going to be when I try to attack a dog?
Exactly.
Like that's what happens psychologically for the dog.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but I don't anticipate that here. Like this guy's already fallen asleep, you know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, just as a heads up, I tell everybody, I was like, I can only take you as far as you're willing to go.
That-
If the
yeah,
human
that-
goes, oh, I can't do that, then I go, then you're stuck where
Yeah.
you are.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, we don't. Yeah, we get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it was a pleasure meeting you guys.
yeah. Thank you
Likewise.
so much.
If you forgot any questions, feel free to reach
Yeah.
out.
We'll do.
Okay.
If they pertain to me, Tina will reach out to me. I'll send her
Okay.
the email. She'll get back to you guys. Otherwise, any questions, don't feel free to ask.
Okay.
And then she'll most likely reach out to you. And then when you come to a conclusion, whatever, you
Yeah.
can say this is what we want to do. Here's the dates that we're looking for. We only take 4 boarding trains at a time.
Okay.
Just heads up, because I don't want to overbook myself and,
Right.
and
Oh,
not
yeah.
have enough time to work with everybody.
Yeah.
But the sooner you get in, and then if you want to just hold your dates, you can always do half down,
Okay.
and then we at least have you locked in.
Right.
And then once it comes to start the first half of the program, then you pay the rest of the. So we're
Okay.
paid in full by the time the program starts.
Got
Gotcha.
it.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Sounds
Cool.
good. Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
Yeah,
Also,
appreciate it.
I
Thank
thought
you.
it was kind of funny because we had Jake and Logan, but then we also have Devin and Kevin.